Well, and that's another series of questions that we're starting to get here in the last few months around the election. We got a big election that's coming up here in the U.S. later this year, and investors are wanting to know that if this person goes into the White House or if this person stays in the White House, what's that going to mean for the economy and what's that going to mean for my portfolio? And I love this slide that we've got up here because I think that really starts to get this idea of it's very challenging to draw a definitive conclusion. Now, Mark, let me ask you a question here. Do you see some type of pattern in the data?
Do I see a pattern? And here we're looking at the S&P 500 and what was the return of the S&P during these different presidential time periods. And I absolutely do not see a pattern.
I'm glad that's your answer because I think it'd be very hard to draw some conclusion or some connection between this person or this party is in power, is in the White House, and therefore this is going to happen in the market. And the reality is it's just not that clean. I think we as investors, we want to be able to draw a definitive connection between here is what happened or here is what's going to happen with the election, and therefore this is going to happen with the market. And why is that so hard? It's because so many different factors are going to come in and affect stock prices.
And you're spot on that. As investors, we kind of tend to simplify things to say, this is the single thing that's going to drive the future of the stock market. But your point, there's many, many things that impact stock prices, right? It could be an election. It could be what oil prices are going to do. It could be what interest rates are going to do. It could be what other countries are going to do. There's hundreds, if not thousands of things out there impacting prices on a daily basis.
Well, and that's not to say that the president doesn't have impact on stock prices or impact on the economy. The president of the United States does, just like the president of other countries does, just like prime ministers do. All of these factors are coming in and affecting stock prices. So it's really hard to say this party goes into power, here's what happens in the markets. And I like this other chart that we've got right here as well, Mark. And what we're going to look at here is we're going to look at this long-term growth of a dollar through these different administrations. And by the way, we can take this and we can break it down by control of Congress as well. Are the Republicans in power? Are the Democrats in power? Is it a mixed Congress? And again, you can't tell much from this party's in control of Congress and this is what's going to happen. But when I look at this chart, I really like this chart because putting aside my personal political views, and you probably want to do that to an extent as an investor, I look at this chart and say, you know what, regardless of who's in power, I like this long-term growth of capitalism over time. That's what I want to capture, right? Regardless if it's Democrats or Republicans, if I'm a long-term investor and I think about the long-term returns of capital markets, I want to stay invested through this time period.